What's going on, guys? This is Chris with Kingship Tech. Thanks for coming to the channel. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. This is a channel all about tech gear for the amateur user. I talk about cameras, I talk about gear, I like to talk about it all. So today's video though is going to be a good one. It's going to be about a tripod. I have two tripods that I'm going to compare together. Now there are loads of tripods out there, but they all pretty much need to do one thing, and that is hold the camera in place. Now the most loved tripod on the market out there is probably the Joby Gorillapod tripod, and that's probably the most loved and hated tripod because it can be very frustrating to use this thing. It's just challenging to move it around, but it does its job when you really want it to be stuck in a tree or on a fence or on a bench or whatever you need it to do, it will do for you. So what am I going to compare it to? Well, this guy. Now I have had this for a little while now, so I've been putting it through its paces, trying to see what it's like. Is it better? And this is why I'm comparing it to it, because the legs are super bendy and it's great. I like these kind of tripods, but the nice thing about this one is it's smaller than the Gorillapod and easier to use. This one in particular is called the Smove flexible tripod. Smove sent this out to me to go ahead and do a review on it without me going by a script or paying. They don't pay me for this. This is just me doing my due diligence on what products are out there and why you should get them, why you shouldn't get them. And so this is my honest review on this tripod. And so let's get into the details. Let's go. So it is a flexible tripod. It has these little bendy legs right here, so it's easier to move into tripod mode and then close it up so you can hold it and you can do your video work. It has this little tension, and then it has a ball head, and you can move it around into place, and then you tighten it and it's good to go that way as well. Seems pretty sturdy, though. Con already I don't like very much is that it's very plastic. The ball head is plasticky, and I don't like plasticky because if it drops, it could easily break, in my opinion. So try not to drop this thing, where the Joby, on the other hand, is all metal construction. I can throw this around. It's going to be okay. Another thing is the legs are like this really rubbery, grippy, I don't know, inside. They're very sturdy and strong, and I'm very confident that wherever I place this thing, it's going to hold it pretty well. I've used it, I've put it in many places, and I've used it with both the Canon RP and the Canon 80D. And since I'm shooting on the Canon RP right now, we're going to go ahead and use the Canon 80D for the demonstration of how it looks, how it works, okay? The head of this thing, okay, it is this has like a level right here on the top, or sorry, 1/4 inch screw right there. This is a kind of a neat feature, is it does this and that right there, is so you can put your cell phone in it. So you flip it up like so, has these claws, and you can put your phone right on there, and you have a mount for your phone in this tripod. Now I'm pretty confident that this is primarily what you're going to be using this for, what you should use it for, because it does this. The problem I have with it is you can't remove it. What I like to do with my cameras is I leave the base plate on the bottom of the camera, like an Arca Swiss. Like this has an Arca Swiss mount on it right here. Everything I own has Arca Swiss, and that way I can mount it quickly, put it on tripods, take them off, and be really fast. This you cannot remove this head, and because of the design, I tried to put like an Arca Swiss clamp or head, on here, and it just didn't fit. Like I couldn't get it to turn all the way, couldn't get it to tighten all the way. So that right there is already a con for me as well. I would love to be able to replace the head on this with anything that I want. Here's what I like about it already, all right? The size difference between these two things right here. This one, if you have larger hands, it's probably not a big deal, but this feels really good in my hands. I feel like I have a better grip on it. It's not going to go anywhere. This I have a really good grip as well, but the weight difference is insane, and you can see that this is a lot heavier than this is, which adds to it, especially if you're carrying around an 80D with you or a full frame camera like the RP, which is still pretty light, but everything, it just lines up, and then all of a sudden you have this big behemoth thing and you're holding it out like this and trying to get your picture while you're vlogging, and it becomes heavy really fast. So the lighter the gear, the better. I did get an opportunity to try this out with the Canon M6 and the M50, and it was probably the perfect balance of size, weight, proportionate. It felt really good, where this is overkill for those mirrorless, small tiny mirrorless cameras, and these are basically meant for the big heavy full frame 1DX or 5Ds or 6Ds or anything like that. This is the 5K. So this was nice already, that I liked the fact that it was lightweight. I'm gonna go ahead and screw this onto the 80D, and we're gonna see how it looks, right? Okay, so here's what it looks like with the 80D. Let's back up a little bit so you can see it, and there it is. So this is what it looks like. The 80D is probably at its max ability to hold it still. Ugh. Alright, so that's basically what you're going to get with the 80D on here. Can I say this is going to be great for the 80D? Not really. It's not flat. I like it to be flat. Like having a base plate on there is really what I would prefer. So I don't like that. In comparing these two, let's go ahead and mount it to something and see if we can get it to stay with the weight of the 80D. Let's put it into action. All right, let's go. So quickly, I just mounted this on this thing. It's like a pole. It takes the weight of the 80D just fine. It holds it sturdy into place, and it does its job. I really can't complain. So let's try it somewhere else. The other thing I like about this is its ability to easily go back into shape how I want it to be, and it's perfect size to be able to do that. So the other benefit is the ability to, when it has smaller legs, is you can mount it tighter around something than with the big legs, than with the bigger size legs of the Joby Gorillapod. But right now I have this mounted to the fence, and I was able to wound it pretty tight around the fence post, as you can see here. So it's real tight. It's holding the camera up very nicely, and it's doing its job really well, even at this angle that the camera is at. That's not easy to do with a camera of the size of the 80D, and so I feel like it's doing a really good job. So because I only have one camera filming on this one, I just kind of set it up next to it, and you can see the difference. What I had to do differently here, wrap it around there to keep it in place. This is nice. I could rest it right here and have it weighted right here. I'm sure if I had a camera on there, it would be a little different, but basically not as easy to wrap it around things, but it's thicker, stronger, and probably would do a better job with bigger cameras. Smaller cameras, this thing's gonna do just fine right here. Let's move on. So we tested it with the camera. We mounted a couple different places, and obviously you can get this to work. If this was the only tripod you had on hand, you can definitely get this to work and it would be okay. But I think primarily this is designed for your cell phone to be used. The head is designed to be able to switch between the two. But let's go ahead and mount it one more time to my phone. I feel like that is where it's gonna shine the best, so let's go and do that. Now I'm switched over to the iPhone and the camera. I have the wide angle lens on here, and the size of this thing is perfect. Like, it's so lightweight, you could be able to video, vlog, do whatever you want for hours at a time without problem whatsoever. I don't have an external mic on here, which is also part of the problem. Because it's windy out here right now, you might get some wind noise, and it really is a proportioned system with this head up. The only downside about this now is if I wanted to use an external microphone, it doesn't have a cold shoe on top to be able to mount it. That would probably be another con, and something that Smove can go ahead and work on maybe in the future stuff. Okay, so I think that's it for the video today. It's pretty simple comparison between the Joby Gorillapod. It was more of a review on the Smove tripod. Let's close it up with the final thoughts of this tripod, and maybe if I can or can't recommend it to you. Closing thoughts on this tripod. It is a great little tripod. It has a lot of great features on it, like the size that we've already talked about. The pros, I would say that it's really lightweight, compact, super easy to manipulate these legs into whatever position, and it's kind of cool that it has that phone mount on there built into it. Another pro is that it's capable of handling a lot of weight, like the Canon 80D and the Canon RP. They're big cameras, and so that is another pro. Now let's go to the cons. One con is it has a plastic ball head, which doesn't inspire or bring confidence into what you're doing. You cannot remove it to be able to replace it with another ball head. So if this had a removable ball head and I upgraded my own to, say, a metal one like this Joby one, then that would be a huge plus. And that would take care of my other issue with this mount right here not being capable of doing like a Arca Swiss clamp, so that way I can keep with my trend of keeping Arca Swiss base plates on all of my cameras. Other than that, I feel like it's a great tripod, and I think it's going to be handy for if you have small cameras like the M50, G7X, G5X point and shoot cameras. The Sony cameras would be perfect on these. The just small APS-C size mirrorless systems would be perfect, and then of course your cell phone, which is really what it's designed for, because of this cool little mount that you can mount pretty much anything on there. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Maybe you found it interesting. If you did, like it, subscribe to the channel. Let's keep this thing growing. I'm almost to 200 subscribers, and that's pretty unreal. I mean, I'm pretty stoked about that. I love doing this. Stick around for more videos coming, because I got more. All right, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.